Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a genuinely fascinating overlap. We are going to explore the intricate relationship between raw ambition, investing, and the psychology of financial risk. What makes this so unique is that we'll be mapping ancient astrological symbolism, specifically a placement known as Rahu in the fifth house, directly onto modern behavioral science. If you've ever wondered why our brains are absolutely hardwired to chase high-risk, high-reward scenarios, well, you are definitely in the right place. Okay, let's dive into this. Why are some financial opportunities just impossible to ignore? You know that feeling, right? That visceral thrill, that sudden spike in your heart rate when you hear about a fast-growing, speculative investment promising literally extraordinary returns. It's an incredibly powerful pull. And it's not just about the money, it's about the psychology of the chase. Today, we're going to totally unpack exactly what's happening in our brains and our symbolic charts when we feel that magnetic attraction to risk.
Section 1. The lure of the gamble.
Before we even look at the data or the ancient texts, I want you to think about your own natural attraction to high-reward scenarios. Like, have you ever felt that completely irresistible urge to jump into a crazy volatile market? We're talking about modern financial magnets here. Cryptocurrencies, startup investing, options trading, emerging tech. What ties them all together? They promise rapid, life-changing wealth creation. It's exciting. It feels like the frontier. But of course, they also carry immense, totally unpredictable risk. The question really isn't whether these are good or bad investments. People build massive wealth here, but rather, why does our psychology make us obsess over them, even when we fully know the dangers?
Section 2. Astrology and Rahu's endless desire.
Let's start by looking at how ancient symbolism frames this really intense human attraction to speculative risk. It's actually amazing how concepts developed centuries ago can perfectly describe our modern financial behavior. The foundational concept here is the fifth house. In astrology, this domain governs investments, stock markets, entrepreneurship, creativity, speculation, intelligence, basically calculated risk. So if you were searching for the exact astrological arena for modern investing, this is it. It's the house of betting on your own intellect and creativity to generate a return.
Now, what's really interesting about this is what happens when you introduce Rahu into this specific arena. Rahu represents desire, obsession, expansion, illusion, and this constant, relentless pursuit of something greater than what already exists. When you drop that energy of endless desire straight into the fifth house of speculation, you create a mindset that is naturally drawn to bold and sometimes pretty extreme decisions. It symbolizes a mind that's, never quite satisfied with the slow and steady rot.
Section 3. Psychology and the behavioral biases. Now, let's pivot to the scientific lens, behavioral finance. It is fascinating how perfectly it mirrors the esoteric side. On one track, we have astrology defining this mindset as endless desire, obsession, and illusion. On the completely parallel track, we have modern behavioral finance defining the exact same phenomenon as emotions, excitement, and cognitive biases replacing facts. It's like two totally different fields, separated by hundreds of years, pointing to the exact same human truth about how we make choices under uncertainty when massive rewards are on the line. Let's run through these psychological hurdles, starting with overconfidence bias. This is that dangerous little belief that early financial success practically guarantees future success. You see it all the time in speculative markets. An investor makes a bold bet, gets lucky with a quick win, and boom, suddenly their ego inflates. They start to think they have this unique genius for the market. They confuse a lucky streak with actual skill, which inevitably leads to even riskier, totally uncalculated bets down the road. Next up is a bias I'm sure we are all intimately familiar with: FOMO, or the fear of missing out. Watching other people rake in profits from trending investments creates this massive emotional urgency. You see the rapid price movements, you hear the wild success stories, and suddenly, logic just goes out the window. You feel this intense need to jump in immediately, often throwing your money at it without doing anywhere near enough research, purely so you aren't left behind. And that brings us to sensation seeking. This happens when volatile markets and rapid price movements start making investing feel more like an adventure than a strategy. So, the crucial point is that when sensation seeking takes over, excitement slowly but surely replaces discipline. The emotional thrill of chasing the next big opportunity literally becomes stronger than the actual goal of building sustainable wealth. At that point, you aren't investing anymore. You're basically paying for an adrenaline rush.
Section 4. The strengths of speculation.
Now, it'd be super easy to look at everything we just talked about and conclude that this speculative mindset is entirely toxic. But actually, scratch that. That's just not true. The speculative drive inherently possesses some incredible superpowers: creativity, independent thinking, innovation, entrepreneurship, and a willingness to question conventional wisdom. And this brilliantly illustrates a key point. These high-risk opportunities aren't inherently bad. In fact, tons of successful entrepreneurs achieve remarkable results exactly by embracing these calculated risks. Groundbreaking ideas often come from the very people who have the energy to explore what others ignore.
Section 5. Balancing ambition with discipline. So how do we pull this all together? How do we synthesize this raw ambition with an awareness of our own biases? Let's move to and see how this builds into a practical framework supported by 4 key pillars. Number 1, proper research, which combats FOMO. Number 2, risk management, to keep that overconfidence in check. Number 3, diversification. And number 4, emotional discipline, to combat that sensation-seeking we talked about. The goal here is absolutely not to kill your ambition. The goal is to balance your optimism with patience and highly informed decision-making. I want to share a quote from our source material that I think absolutely nails the essence of this explainer. Lasting financial success comes from knowing when to act, when to wait, and when emotional excitement should never replace thoughtful financial discipline. It beautifully ties together that deep astrological desire with the stark behavioral reality. Long-term success rarely comes from chasing every shiny, exciting opportunity. It comes from building wealth with real awareness and purpose, rather than just chasing a temporary high.
And so, I want to leave you with this provocative thought to wrap up our explainer today. Really take a look at your own portfolio, your own habits. Are your investment decisions guided by careful strategy or by the excitement of chasing extraordinary returns? It is absolutely crucial to ask yourself that before making your next financial move. Look beyond the trends, get to know your own investing psychology, and build your wealth with true awareness. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and keep learning.